Why hello there, and welcome to this, the second version of the guide to the DS5 Studio firmware for your DS dongle, which allows you to use your DualSense controller from Sony wirelessly and still get all the haptic benefits, plus adaptive triggers, plus a lot of other features. Today we'll be diving deep in the AutoHaptics. Auto-haptics is what allows you essentially to get haptic effects which are non-game native and contribute greatly to the experience of using a DualSense with games that are not made by Sony or imported from PlayStation. How do we do that? You have two options to do that. Once you go to the haptics menu of the firmware, you have a choice. Obviously you have the off option, which is just dedicated for running native Sony games. This will facilitate a smooth experience, allowing you to get your full haptics plus any speaker sound effects in games such as Ratchet and Clank, Ghosts of Tsushima, Silent Hill 2, etc. However, if you want to get automatic haptics, you can also do that in two ways. You can either replace your in-game vibrations, or you can add to them by mixing with native. What this means? Essentially two things. You can mix with native either in native DualSense games, meaning that if you just can't get enough from that default option for haptics, you can add to it, or in games which are non-native, you can create a whole new universe, allowing your haptics to blossom on the controller. And not only that, you don't lose your game native vibrations, which are built in the actual game by the developers. You add to them additional audio driven effects. What this means? Essentially, we run a Python script which sends all your audio to the controller, which then uses the built-in DSP to strip out some things that you actually don't want to get as vibrations, such as speech, and give you just what you want. How we do that? Here I will go through the options, but it's good for you to know that each and every option has a description which will get you started very quickly. So, first of all, we select Mix with Native. This allows us, of course, as already mentioned, to take what is already in the game and just add to it. You have the intensity here, which is the strength of the effect. This means that essentially you get up to not 100 but 200%. This is the absolute maximum, meaning that you can double the strength of the audio effects. Smoothness is the next option, which is basically sort of a smoothing filter to your audio haptic effects. Meaning that if you like them a bit punchier, you can get that by lowering the value. If you like them more rounded off, you can increase the value. Noise gate reduces your additional noise which you don't really want to get haptics from, and this option helps you here to trim down any noise which is coming from speech. Native pass-through in mix is a very interesting option, but specifically if you have non-native games, this one here allows you to increase the strength as well, but will limit some DSP that you can do. So if you have non-native games, best to start here from 0 and increase to taste. Filter native pass-through in mix is an interesting one. This is exactly what I was talking about. Essentially, if you have quadraphonic speakers or haptic vibrators in the controller, which means 4 channels essentially. Where you do get your native audio vibration effects are on channel 3 and 4, where we are sending our generated auto haptics are channel 0 and 1. So when you want to essentially mix and match here on native games your additional haptics, you need to do some modifications so that you can not trim your native game haptics, also get the additional auto haptics, and also get your built-in speaker effects in the controller and not all the audio coming through. Basically, if you select raw here, you keep your in-game haptics intact without any DSP. If you select filter, this will allow you to do any modifications. But this is not relevant for most of you because, let's face it, if we're playing Sonic games, most often than not, we don't want to further modify them. Where we want to get some additional haptics is with the non-native games. So, moving forward, here is the actual cutoff, the first one, because you have two cutoff points, or you could have two cutoff points. This means that all effects right now with this setting above 60 Hz are ignored. You can think about this pretty much the same as you would subwoofer, but reverse. Or no, not reverse, actually exactly like a subwoofer. You get all the effects under 60, you don't get any of the ones above 60 in this case. But what you can do is set, for example, here 200, which is the maximum, and then use the additional frequency split crossover so that you can get a different level of strength to the effects on one side and a different level to the effects on top. Let's say we put in here 200, we put in here 100, and this means that you can have, let's say, 100 level of intensity for the hertz below 100, and then you can have 30 for the hertz from 100 to 200. This allows you to not miss any effects that you would get in terms of haptics, but also not have them contributing too much. And again, this is the aim to mitigate any speech or unwanted effects vibrating your controller. The slope is basically how sharp the cutoff of the split of the crossover is.